since we're talking about Rabiu Kwankwa, so let's turn to Kano State, which is the political stronghold of the NNPP, your party. Some would say the only political stronghold that it has. And into that, the relative tranquility of Kano State, Governor Abba Yusuf threw a hand grenade into the mix of Kano traditions by restoring Sanusi to the throne. And some say it laid waste to that tranquility and has sown the seeds for volatility for years to come. What is your assessment of what is going on there?
You see, Mr. Charles, I am one person that you can be safe to say you can always know where I stand.
Indeed.
On any issue. This issue, I have deliberately decided not to comment on it.
So you don't actually
for some
stand...
very personal reasons.
Right.
But there are two things I will say. I hope the nation knows that Abba Kabir Yusuf himself is entitled to be the emir of Kano.
That's the governor.
Yes. His grandfather was the emir. And his grandfather, his great-grandfather was an emir. And his father, as a prince, grandfather, Galadinma Yusuf. He is Abba Kabir Yusuf. That Yusuf was the prince that revolted and removed the emir that was then appointed by the Sultan of Sokoto for Kano. He led the cavalry that removed that emir.
And what year?
So if history is anything to go by,
what year
what
was
Abba Habir, about 70, 80 years ago.
Right.
If history is anything to go by, he is just at home with what he has done. He himself is entitled to be the emir. He could have appointed himself. That is one point I wanted to make. Secondly, you know, everything that is happening in Kano has got to do with politics. But in this politics that they do in Kano, one group has got an edge over the other in terms of propaganda, publicity, and federal support. And the federal support, they don't know that they can't do as they wish. It is not their province. It is not their province. They have nothing to do with chieftaincy title. They don't have. The other group has got an inherent constitutional responsibility to do what they are doing. So for me and you, we should wait and see. We are in a democracy. People should know that just simply because they didn't like the NNPP in Kano, we defeated them flat in 2011. They took it away from us by force. We were not prepared to face them then. We said, allow them. There will be time when we will have the strength to fight back. That time came up in 2023. We defeated them flat. They padded their votes. They padded the votes. They didn't get up to 20% of what they had announced for themselves. They used the INEC, they used the security forces to do that. Yet, they couldn't get the numbers to beat us, even where they cut off some of our figures. And I have said this on a program here. I hope you will remember. They went to tribunal. We thrashed them because they don't remember history. They went and seized the members of the tribunal, gave them a written judgment, which they read through Zoom. We let them. We appealed. At the Court of Appeal, they went and seized the judgment, wrote the judgment in their own language. The first one, they gave them a whole written judgment, which they read. They know that we know. In the second one at the Court of Appeal, they wrote judgment, but they failed to rewrite the conclusions of that judgment. And because those judges were clever people, they allowed them to read what they gave them, including the conclusion. And the main body of the judgment gave APC judgment. But the conclusion, which they didn't change, gave us judgment and fined them. And because they were fools, they couldn't understand. So, we went to Supreme Court. Whether you know or you don't know, there was a revolt by the Supreme Court judges that they will never tamper with the judgment of Kano. I say this on record. They know we know. So, I have never seen in the world where there is a compromise in legal issue. So the compromise is that every governor, whether qualified or not qualified, if they should leave Kano, everybody should be left on his seat. Now, they came again through the other side on the issue of emir. If we have governor, they insisted they must have an emir. What has emir got to do with the politics? After all, there were 5 emirs, yet we won the election. I hope Nigerians are listening. There were 5. We won election. So if you install another one, just one, how could he defeat us?
Right, in any case.
That is not the issue, Charles.
Right.
I have to land.
Sure.
I want to tell federal government, including my friend, President Bola Tinubu, that he should be mindful of Kano politics. It will destroy his presidency. They never agree on any issue. I had an inherent knowledge of how we dealt with the politics of Kano during the MPN when I was the youth leader. They never agree. Each of them, for example, I know of very powerful people from Kano, including some rich men who came to meet the president and tell him that they should remove Abba Kabir Yusuf, nothing will happen. And the man I know, Tinubu, should have been smarter than what he is by telling them that, fine, nothing will happen. How did it happen that you didn't win election in the first place?
So you're making some very interesting points there. How do you think Kano politics might destroy President Tinubu's presidency?
If Boko Haram can hold the Nigerian nation, Nigerian military, security agencies to ransom for the last how many years? 12, 13, 14?
Yeah, since at least 2009, possibly earlier than that.
They should be careful with us. We've come of age in Kano. I don't want to say much.
That sounds like a bit of a threat.
I'm not threatening anybody.
Okay. So let's just finish with Kano and the emir tussle there. How much political and legal dust is all that raising and likely to raise? Because the police were forced, for example, to cancel the Durbar this year.
They cannot.
Because of fears.
I said they cannot. They have no legal authority to do that. The governor is the chief security officer of Kano. Right. If he says there will be Durbar, even if the whole of Kano will finish, we will hold the Durbar tomorrow.
Yeah, but the fear, I mean, the governor obviously doesn't want a clash between rivals.
Which governor?
Well, Governor Yusuf.
He should fight for his own life. If today the police say don't and he doesn't do that, he's out. Nobody will listen to him again. I will advise him to do the Durbar. Let anything happen.
Well, I think they've already cancelled it.
No, they didn't cancel. The emir rode on a horseback yesterday.
Yeah, he rode on a horse, but the actual
What is Durbar?
Event itself.
What is Durbar?
Well, I've been to the Durbar.
What is it called?
It's
What do the people
well,
do?
it's horses, isn't it? It's
Thank
the
you very
charge of the horses.
It's okay.
But just because the emir rode on a horse doesn't mean that the festival took place.
I say we will do everything,
Right.
the festivities, we will do. And the governor cannot back out, even if he's going to lose his life.
But do you think, because you're a political, in addition to being a politician and a member of the NPP, you're a political analyst. You know more about Nigerian politics and the innuendos and nuances than most people. I mean, do you see this move by Governor Abba Yusuf to reinstate Sanusi Lamido as the right move, or is it the start?
I don't want to go into.
Is it the start? Let me just ask the question.
Don't even waste your words.
Well, let me ask the question: is it the start of a political back and forth which could go the other way if the current governor is no longer in power? For example, in 3 years' time, another governor comes in and changes everything.
You said if he's not in power. I don't want to comment. When Sanusi was removed, who removed him?
Well, the previous governor.
So for what? For what reason?
Well, it doesn't matter what the reason is. The governor removed him, and then someone else, this new governor came and reinstated him.
Does Abba Yusuf have the powers that Ganduje had as governor?
Yes.
And Ganduje would be able to remove an emir. For the whole of Kano, one entity, he removed him, like removing a chicken feather.
Yeah, but another governor could come in and do the same thing, couldn't he? If Abba Yusuf is no longer the governor in 3 years' time.
Abba Yusuf is doing this maybe because he's a governor. So why don't they wait until another governor comes in?